How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Tales from the Darkside, Season 3, Episode 2, I Can't Help Saying Goodbye. This is from October 5th, 1986, and is directed by John Strysik, and stars Brian Benben, Loren, Cedar, and Alison Sweeney. The teleplay was written by Jule Selbo, based on a story by Ann Mackenzie. And in this story, a little girl gives her mother a very strange and prolonged goodbye, and shortly after this strange goodbye, the mother dies. Well, when that happens multiple times and people who the little girl says goodbye to starts dying, they're going to look at her with a sense of fear and start to worry about what this little girl might bring upon them with her goodbyes. And overall, I found this episode fine. It's not the best thing ever, but it's a good classic anthology concept. There's this, strange kid, kind of creepy. Maybe it's a gift, and it does lead to a really fun ending that I thought was really cool as well. And overall, a solid story where she reaches for the person and says goodbye to them. That's creepy, that's good. But overall, it's nothing super big. And I do think this is kind of a mistake to put this as the second episode, because last time around on this show, the first episode of Season 3, The Circus, was George Romero's big Monster Mash episode. And in that episode, things went crazy. So, yeah, putting a smaller Darkside episode right after a bigger one kind of does make it feel smaller. But there are problems with this. And overall, I do want to say it's fine. It's a good classic little Darkside episode. But there are some problems. First of all, the fact that they're scared of the little girl, this realization happens a little bit too quickly, and we as an audience know pretty early on she's not really doing this intentionally, and, her victims are, people she cares about, so it's kind of odd to assume that she's killing them. And I think if they had kept us in the dark about the little girl's innocence, it could have been a better creepy child episode, and, maybe have her fight with the people that, wind up dying, so that it seems like more of a logical idea to get to. But in turn, they just get to it way too quick, and I'm like, she cared about her mom. She wouldn't have killed her on purpose. And also the deaths in here, a lot of the episode is kind of low-key, and then the deaths can be quite fantastical. The mom actually blows up, which is pretty crazy. And I won't spoil it. The second death in here is pretty crazy as well. It almost seems like Final Destination, where death is the bad guy, But then a lot of this other episode kind of goes more low-key and subtle and realistic. And I don't know, probably should have picked a tone. You get things in here the little girl and the mother before her death reminiscing about their father, and the mother telling stories about how they meant and when they proposed, and nice sweet stuff, and the little girl and her friend going, you don't breathe with your nose, you breathe with your lungs. Well, what's the nose there for? I guess so your face doesn't look stupid. Fun, realistic little kid talk like that. And you even get, where when the girl knows dies, she talks about, oh, they're in heaven now, they're angels, do they have to learn how to fly, Sweet stuff like that. Although I do want to say, technically, human spirits and angels are different entities. You don't turn into an angel, learn your biblical lore, but that's beside the point. There's lots of sweet, real-life stuff in there, and it does kind of contrast with the mom freaking blowing up. So yeah, the tone is a little inconsistent, but overall, it's a fine episode, just not the best thing ever, and not near as good as the last episode. But, you know, a fun little classic anthology horror piece with a little motif behind it. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, let's talk a bit about the plot and analyze it a little deeper. I won't be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to dig in, say my piece on a few plot points, and analyze this a little more. Anyway, we open up with the younger daughter, and she's talking with her mother, and they talk about their dad, and how he was a tough guy that helped them get through life, and the younger daughter never got to meet him because he died on the same day she was born. Well, the older sister's in the next room with her boyfriend, and he's a music guy, he's playing piano, and the younger sister's like, I don't know what my older sister sees in him, he's not strong at all like our dad was, you know? But the two really do love each other, they kiss, and he proposes, and they rush in to tell the mom that they're getting married, and she gets distracted. She gets distracted right as she notices the pilot light's out, and she's all happy for the marriage, and she doesn't notice the room is starting to fill with gas. You know, I use electric cooktops for most of my life, that whenever I see anything with gas, I'm always so paranoid about this exact same thing happening, you know. If it doesn't light within a second, I'm always like, oh no, we're gonna all blow up, someone open the window, get a fan, I don't want to explode, you know. So I saw that, the pilot light was out, then the show kind of tries to misdirect us, and I'm like, no, she's gonna explode. And of course, she does. Now, the older sister and the fiancé are gonna go tell the fiancé's parents, and the mom says, take your little sister to her swimming lessons. So they all leave, and then the mom explodes, and of course this is Darkside. How do you explode someone on a budget? You just show the kitchen doors swing out in a bunch of smoke. That's the Darkside I know. Trying to shoot around things, you know, you gotta love their frugality. But anyway, after that, you get the boyfriend, and the boyfriend does a good enough job being just enough of a jerk, where he's not really too mean, but he is definitely saying things he's not supposed to. He can, you know, kind of joke and it will come off wrong, or he'll say things that are a little bit too cold and insensitive, and he doesn't really mean to sound as cold and insensitive as he does, but it's something like, you know, I know your mom died in there, but they fixed the kitchen, and what are we gonna do? Never use the kitchen again? We gotta eat, you know? So things like that where it's just a little too soon, and I think that is more the thing, is it's not so much that he's super mean in this particular scene, but he's just not knowing his place. He doesn't realize, hey, these wounds are still too fresh, and hey, I'm not really fully a member of this family. I may not have enough standing to say what I'm saying, you know? So they do a good enough job keeping him as just enough of a jerk. But anyway, while he's joking, he does make fun of the strange way that the little girl said goodbye to the mom. And we as an audience, before she blew up, we saw her freeze. We saw her go up to the mom, give a nice prolonged goodbye, and now they're mocking it. And at first it's just humor, but another person does die, and I don't want to spoil this death because it's something that actually probably has happened before, but it's kind of a crazy death, you know. But it happens again, the girl said goodbye again, and now they start to think, maybe she's doing it. And you get this bit where, in a sense of fear, and in a sense of trying to protect herself, instead of denying it, the girl goes, be nice to me, or I'll say goodbye to your fiancé. And yeah, that's kind of a wrong move, because, you know, it's the self-preservation instinct kicking in, but now they definitely think you're guilty. And again, like I said earlier, they kind of jumped to this conclusion. I do wish that, maybe instead if they had shown the girl fighting with the mom, then you might have believed that she would have killed her, but instead, it's a loving scene, and it's like, I don't buy that the girl would have just killed her mom there. You really needed to sell that more, and they really do show us that she's innocent, and I think if you're gonna show us that she's innocent, make it more sympathetic, make it someone like Carrie, where you see just how much the world is weighing down on them, and do it like that, or keep us in the dark, make it a twist that she's innocent, show us her being a creepy girl, and then be like, no, she has no control over it. Either one of those would be better. Here it's just kind of stuck somewhere in the middle. But the fiancé, classic anthology stuff. He's just enough of a jerk, but he also has asthma and he's constantly coughing. Darkside is just waiting to kill this character. It's like a cat with a glass too close to the edge of the table, and Darkside is like, I'm gonna push him over. So you're waiting for that the whole time, and you know it's coming. But overall, a fun episode, and I won't spoil it, but I do like where it ultimately leads to at the end, and it says some stuff about fear, and yeah, it's good with a good concept, and there is some heartwarming moments that do contrast with the wackier moments, and I wish they had picked a better perspective on the girl, either a mystery or we're 100% behind her and it's more sympathetic, but overall, it's a good episode of Darkside. Nothing spectacular, but I found it fun enough and I did like it. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist. And it's actually getting really long. I realized 24 episodes in the first 2 seasons, 2 in this season. This is Darkside's 50th episode. And I also talked about the 2 other Christmas episodes early. I've done 52 individual Darkside episodes, and I've missed a few weeks. So that means I've done this review show for over a year. That's crazy. And I'm just now slightly past the halfway point. So a ton more Darkside I hope to get to soon. But for now, if you want to see me talk about more Darkside, that playlist will be on the bottom. I should have reviews for the past episodes, Season 1 and 2 overviews, the Joe Hill comic, and the other 2 Christmas episodes are out early. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Darkside playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.